Welcome to Grammar and Writing Lesson 69. Let's get started with our vocabulary. The first word is caricature. Caricature. You may or may not have seen this word before. It's an art form. It's something that often you might see it even like at the beach or a fun amusement park. Can you think of what it is? It's a description or a drawing that ridiculously exaggerates the characteristics or striking features of a person or thing. That is a caricature. So usually you see it in the form of a drawing. You can see it in a description of somebody, and they'll exaggerate the different characteristics of someone. So for example, if someone has a big nose, when a caricature is drawn of them, the artist is going to make their nose even bigger so that it looks kind of funny. For example, an example sentence would be, caricatures of public figures can be unflattering. So they can look not so nice because it really does exaggerate or draw out usually the worst part of you, the most unattractive part of you. Allegory. What's an allegory? That's a story in which the characters and events represent an underlying truth about life. So everything that you're reading, it has a second meaning, a deeper meaning that's trying to teach something about life or show you something. For example, Pilgrim's Progress is an allegory with deeper meaning beyond the mere travel of a pilgrim. So it's more than just the interesting story that you read. It has parallels. It has meanings that you're supposed to understand and learn from. A cliche, that's another art form in literature usually. Cliche, you've probably heard that word. That's a trite expression, meaning, kind of a common, not very deep expression that has been used so much that it is no longer an effective way to say something. That's a cliche. So it's a little expression, doesn't have a lot of depth to it, and it's been used a lot. For example, the cliche, sharp as a tack, was used to describe the bright student. So if you say sharp as a tack, you don't actually mean like it's pointy and could, poke you and make you bleed. You mean that the person is very smart. That's the idea there. But it's used so often, it's not really something you would use in formal writing or even in speaking. All right, so now let's practice with them. Fill in the blank with the correct vocabulary word. Number 1. C.S. Lewis's The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, an adventure story with an underlying meaning, is a or an. Is it a caricature? Is it an allegory? Or is it a cliche? Okay. Number 2. Read the blank of Pemblebrook from Great Expectations. He was a large, hard-breathing, middle-aged, slow man with a mouth like a fish, dull, staring eyes, and sandy hair standing upright on his head, so that he looked as if he had just been all but choked. Okay, so what is this little excerpt? Yes, it's a character sketch, but what kind of character sketch is it? Is it a cliche? Is it an allegory? Or is it a caricature? Okay, the saying, fresh as a daisy, is a what? Caricature, an allegory, or a cliche? Okay, are you ready? Here are the answers. C.S. Lewis's The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is an adventure story with an underlying meaning. That word underlying meaning, that phrase, is what gives you the clue of what it is. It's an allegory. This is the caricature of Uncle Pumblechook. Excuse me, I think I said Pemblebrook. Pumblechook. So it kind of exaggerates what his eyes and mouth look like, saying it looks as if he's just been choked. You can kind of picture bugged out eyes, hair all over the place. But it's not a very pretty description is it, but it's a little exaggerated as well. Number 3, the saying fresh as a daisy, that is a cliche. It is something that's been used a lot, so much so you wouldn't use it anymore in formal speaking or writing because it's less effective. Okay, I'm going to jump in straight to your homework. I'm not really going to spend a whole lot of time reviewing this. This is something that you will see on your evaluation for Friday. So you're going to be practicing this in your homework, completing Language C, page 71. So the first thing that you need to do is capitalization and punctuation. Mark each incorrect small letter and then add the missing punctuation marks. So let's do the first two together. It says, I read Mark Twain's Life on the Mississippi for my book report. What's the first incorrect small letter that we see? Well, we have our first letter, which is the first word capitalized, which is also I, which is always capitalized, so we're good there. Read, it doesn't need anything. Mark, that's a name. So I'm going to mark that because we need capitalized names. His whole name is Mark Twain, so Twain also needs to be capitalized. Mark Twain's Life on the Mississippi. Oh, that's something he wrote. So that should be capitalized as well. I capitalize the first word, the last word, and any important words. On and the are not important words, so I don't need to capitalize them. For, nope, not part of the title or anything like that. My, nope. Book report, nope, nothing special. Okay, that's it. Now, it's hard to see, but you do have a period already here, so we don't need to add any missing punctuation marks there. But we do need to add a apostrophe here, an apostrophe, because it's Mark Twain's Life on the Mississippi. So we need to show that this is his work by adding that apostrophe to show possession. Now, Life on the Mississippi, that's a book. So we have to punctuate that. If we were typing it, we would italicize it. But since we're not, we have to underline it. Okay? Number 2, work as if it all depended on you, but pray as if it all depended on God. So let's start with the first word, work, already capitalized, as if, it all, nothing there, depended, that's our verb, on you, or I'm sorry, dependent is not your verb, but it's not important. But pray as if it all, no, nothing there, depended on God. Oh, name of God. So yep, we got to capitalize that. That should be capital G for God. Now, how about our punctuation? We already have our period at the end. Anything in here? Work as if it all depended on you. Nope, that's good. But, ooh, does this mean I have a compound verb or a compound sentence? Let's look at the other part. Pray as if it all depended on God. Well, here I have work as my verb. You don't need to underline this. This is just to show you. What's your, who or what is working? Understood you. I'm just going to put a Y for that. So you work. Pray is your other verb. Is it compound or a compound verb, or is it a compound sentence? Who or what prays? You pray. But here this is a separate sentence. It's a separate verb set. So work as if it all depended on you, comma, but pray as if it all depended on God. Okay, and then you are going to finish that exercise, then go down to where it says remember. On notebook paper, rewrite the following fragment to form a good sentence and the following run-on to form a compound sentence. So you have the catcher who made the play. You need to decide what it's missing and fix it so it makes a good sentence on a piece of notebook paper. And then the run-on needs to form a compound sentence. Not two separate sentences. Fix it so that it is a compound sentence. Our family visited St. Louis. Our family visited St. Louis. The baseball game was a favorite attraction. So change that so it will be one sentence, but a compound sentence. All right. That's it for today's grammar lesson. Have a wonderful day. Let me know if you have any questions about what you need to do. Bye.